Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly forecast for Monday, April 19th through Sunday, April 25th. Before I begin, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel, check out my monthly forecast, also the Ask Me a Question section in the description below. There's also a link there to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. So, all the aspects, major aspects this week are from planets in Taurus. The Sun, Mercury, Venus, and the planet Uranus is in Taurus. So, on Monday, April 19th, we have Sun conjunct Mercury, both in Taurus, and the Sun and Mercury both move into Taurus on that day. On Friday, April 23rd, we have Venus conjunct Uranus, and Mars also moves into Cancer on this day. Anyways, Mercury and Uranus both in Taurus. On Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. And on Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus squares Saturn in Aquarius. And Venus in, same day, Venus in Taurus squares Saturn in Aquarius. And also the same day, Mercury in Taurus conjuncts Venus in Taurus. So it's all, all Taurus stuff this week. Okay, so for Aries, okay, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your second house conjuncts Mercury, also transiting in your second house of Taurus. So your second house is how you earn your money, the things that you own that are valuable, and even your own personal values. It's also the house of hidden talents. Okay, so you still have Pluto, okay, transiting in your 10th house of Capricorn, and it actually, it will be going retrograde. But anyways, your 10th house is your house of career, your social and professional standing, your by reputation, how you're known by reputation, how people speak about you or even write about you publicly. To me, it looks like you are, more than likely, the Sun is here the same time every year. You're getting a raise around this time of year. Every year, possibly, you get an increase in income, and it's usually due to a raise, but it could be for any reason. When this planet, like I said, Pluto will be turning retrograde on the 27th, so you may be contacted in regards to, okay, let's say if you were inquiring about another position, or if you were interested in a completely different line of work, something that you checked out in the past may come around again this time. Somebody may contact you to see if you're still interested in whatever you were inquiring about in regards to employment or your career or something or other, maybe branching out or whatever. But anyways, if you have any money coming to you that is due you in any way, this might be the day that you actually receive it. Okay, on Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Taurus in your second house conjuncts the planet Uranus, also in your second house of Taurus. And the next day, the 24th, Saturday, Mercury in Taurus in your second house also conjuncts Uranus, transiting in your second house of Taurus. You have Venus and Mercury both conjuncting the planet Uranus, which is a very unpredictable planet. It causes very sudden and sometimes really exciting things to happen in your life. And the house where this is occurring is your house of money, how you earn your money. So you could actually be winning something right now. I don't know if you're up for gambling, but if you are, there's a chance that you could place a small bet or whatever and have some money coming in from that. You could also be on the receiving end of more money than you expected as far as, let's say, a raise goes. There could be other perks coming with it. Somebody could gift you or grant you, even if this is coming from work that you've done, some kind of luxury item or the use of, but it looks like it's actually something that you will own. You know, this is a nice time. If you don't gamble, at least buy a rub-off ticket or something or other. You just never know. But very unexpected and sudden things occurring in your second house of income. But to me, it looks like it's all very good stuff. On Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your second house, square Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 11th house. And on the same day, Venus in Taurus in your second house also squares Saturn in your 11th house, okay, of Aquarius. And again on the same day, Mercury in Taurus in your second house conjuncts Venus, also in your second house of Taurus. So you have all these like really, really nice things. I can't see anything bothering your 11th house, where you have the sign of Aquarius and Saturn transiting right now. And your 11th house is your house of your friends and associates, acquaintances, the places where you would normally go to hang out. It's your most sociable house. You may be asked to do something at this time, possibly with your friends. This is also the house of groups and organizations that you belong to. So maybe one of these, an organization or whatever that you belong to, may want you to join them in doing something, and it costs money. It's not that you don't have the money, it looks like you don't feel like spending it right now. So you just have this week, it's all about money, and it's about bringing in new sources of income. Possibly at this time, maybe someone you met socially, while even online, socializing online. Having Jupiter also in your 11th house at the same time brings in new opportunities to meet new people, brings new people into your circle of friends. So one of them could have given you some kind of lead or whatever, or wanted to possibly introduce you to someone as far as your career goes or work goes, that this person could help you, or they were interested in whatever it is that you do for a living. And especially if you're self-employed, and maybe it just didn't pan out. You know, maybe this person was supposed to order something from you and they've changed their mind or whatever. Okay, for Taurus, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in your first house in Taurus conjuncts Mercury in your first house in Taurus. So you are on the sending and receiving end of a lot of communications on this day. Okay, you may find out that, you know, after the day is gone, that you've been on the phone a little bit more than usual, or you back and forth with an email or text messages, or even physically moving around your own area, you know, doing a lot of traveling, driving, or whatever in your car. But it looks like, you know, you have pretty much going on this week, because everything is in your first house and it's all in conjunction. It looks like, you know, this is the beginning of a full week of just people contacting you, and maybe it is because of your birthday, maybe it is to wish you a birthday, happy birthday, something like that, whatever. Okay, on Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Taurus in your first house conjuncts Uranus, also transiting in your first house of Taurus. And on Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus in your first house conjuncts Uranus, transiting in your first house. Okay, of Taurus. So you have Venus and Mercury conjuncting the planet Uranus, which has been in your first house, in your sign, for a couple years now. Not too long. It's still in pretty low degrees. You may be a little bit used to it by now. This is really bringing out your let's say your the inner you know what I mean. You may not have had unusual taste, before this transit came into your life. But now that it's here, there's a little bit of this coming out in your personality by the way you're dressing, or even the kind of music you're listening to, or whatever, the kind of people that you're taking up with are a little bit different than what you are normally used to, or what people are used to seeing you do. Okay, so your behavior is altered in some way or other that seems a little bit surprising to some people, and that like continues right now. In fact, you're more in tune with yourself. Whatever you're doing at this time, it's because it's the real you. You know, you're going to do something that you love, or something that you've always wanted to do. And this would be the time within this Friday and Saturday, even if it's to, because Mercury's also involved here with Venus, you could let someone know exactly how you feel about them. And you could also be on the receiving end of something like that. You could be surprised by someone approaching you now with whatever, they're just drawn to you. They're so attracted to you. They let it blurt out. It might be something that was not planned, a conversation that you have with someone that wasn't really planned, but actually turns out to be pretty exciting and really, really like good. It's something that you would want to happen. It's not like you have a stalker entering your life or anything, okay? On Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your first house squares Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 10th house. On the same day, Venus in Taurus in your first house also squares Saturn transiting in your 10th house of Aquarius. And on the same day, Mercury in your first house in Taurus conjuncts Venus in your first house in Taurus. Okay, so you have just this little minor square, to your 10th house of career, your outer persona, how you're known by reputation, professionally and personally. It's your livelihood, the kind of work that you do. A square to Saturn doesn't really, it's not all that bad considering the planets that are involved here. And plus you also have Jupiter transiting in your 10th house of Aquarius right now, so they kind of even out right now a little bit. You could have some kind of conversation though at this time with a mentor or your boss or a colleague or something that in regards to your career or your position. And it looks like it's actually something pretty good. You may be being let in on the fact that maybe possibly someone is leaving your company and their position is open. Maybe you might be interested in it. If you're self-employed, you may be in touch with someone who is introducing you to a pretty prestigious client or something like that. All kinds of possibilities here, but they're all very good. Okay, for Gemini, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 10th house conjuncts Mercury in your 10th house of Taurus. So this is like your 12th house is your house of secrets and behind the scenes occurrences and moves and actions by you or someone else. It's your subconscious mind. It's your house of charity. All kinds of things going on here. You could, the planet Uranus has been transiting here for a while. So, as far as your subconscious mind goes, a lot of activity in that area has been coming to the surface. Thoughts just popping into your head that really may not make any sense to you. Very vivid dreams and very unusual dreams. You may be involved though with someone who is, this being the house of charity and confined places though too at the same time. You may be in touch with someone who is in, let's say, like a nursing home, some kind of institution where they're being taken care of. But this could also be, you could be in touch with someone who is in, let's say, prison. and maybe you are helping them in some way. You know, the same thing with whomever may possibly be laid up, let's say, in a personal care home or even in the hospital. Um, all these conjunctions are occurring in this 12th house this week. So something's going on behind the scenes here. Either it's you, excuse me, and being in contact with someone secretly, possibly. Could be in regards to anything, but it could be also you could be in touch with someone again that maybe you really don't want people to know that you are in touch with them, just simply for the fact that it doesn't. It's maybe they're not a person that I don't know, your friends would like or your family would like, even. Okay. But the Sun conjunct Mercury here on Monday brings some kind of communication or some kind of breakthrough, let's say, in a little bit of an investigation that you may have been doing. I always say when Mercury's here is when people start to snoop, just usually to find out something that they need to know. They're a little bit more clever in their way of getting answers to their questions that they need to know about. On Friday, April 23rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 12th house conjuncts Uranus, also in Taurus in your 12th house. And on Saturday, April 24th, I'm sorry, that was Venus. Venus conjuncts Uranus on Friday. On Saturday, Mercury conjuncts Uranus. On both of these are happening in your 12th house. Okay, Venus and Mercury are both conjuncting Uranus within 2 days of each other. So there's, you know, it's an aha moment kind of, in a way. If you were snooping or if you were inquiring, even just trying to find out something about anything or anyone, this would be the day that you would succeed. And whatever you find out, though, could be like a really big surprise. It could be the exact opposite even of what you expected to learn. Okay? If you were trying to hold on to some kind of secret, though, whatever, you could also be found out on this day. Okay? And the thing is it's not a very big deal, even though in your mind you thought it was. Whomever you were trying to keep it from, if they do learn whatever you may be trying to hide, it's not like a really big deal, but you thought it would be. So in a way, it's a good thing because you get to leave your guard down. You know, you don't have to worry about someone, what they were going to think when they found out that you were up to something. You were doing something in secret. Okay? On Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 12th house squares Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 9th house. On the very same day, Venus in Taurus in your 12th house also squares Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 9th house. And also on this day, Mercury in Taurus in your 12th house conjuncts Venus, transiting in your 12th house of Taurus. So, again, you know, what this square really isn't all that bad, especially when you have this conjunction of Mercury and Venus together on the same day, which usually brings about a really nice conversation, a really nice communication of some kind. It's a little bit of affection even there. The square to Saturn in your 9th house of like foreign anything, foreign people who live at a distance. This is the house of your opinions and your philosophy on life, your religious and spiritual beliefs, the house of higher learning, so knowledge, your house of knowledge. You also have Jupiter here at the same time, which is the natural ruler of this house, so it brings about maybe a little bit more contact with people from a different background than yours, or people who travel. Whatever, you know, you are having, maybe you thought that you had, there was such a big difference between, let's say, you and someone else, okay, and now you're finding out that there there really wasn't all that much of a difference. You thought that you didn't have very much in common with them, and now you're looking at it on another side where you are viewing what you do have in common with them and not what you don't. Okay? For Cancer, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 11th house conjuncts Mercury also in Taurus in your 11th house. So this is a very chatty time for you with your friends. Okay, the 11th house is your friends and acquaintances. And any place where you would normally go to hang out. It's any kind of group or organization that you belong to. It's socializing online, on the internet. But it's like, you know, a group or whatever, your group of friends or even an organization that you belong to. But this is a very sociable house. And having this conjunction here just makes you very active in communicating with your friends. Or if you are online in some kind of group, you may even join one now at this time. This might be a time, though, too, where you begin some kind of... you either get together with your friends or you begin possibly even like a little bit of a trip. But you may be attending some kind of an event or whatever, doing something with your friends, going out somewhere on this day. On Friday, April 23rd, Mercury, let's see here, Venus in Taurus in your 11th house conjuncts Uranus also in Taurus in your 11th house. And on Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus in your 11th house also conjuncts Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house. So you have Venus and Mercury conjunct Uranus in your 11th house of friends and socializing. So it looks to me like either you or you're going to say something that really takes somebody by surprise, or they're going to say something to you. This is one of your friends, or this is an acquaintance, or this is somebody you meet online even. In fact, you could, if you are out physically somewhere, you could run into one of your friends that possibly you haven't seen for a really long time, or didn't know they were in town. You know, maybe they're just visiting or something like that. But something very surprising could happen to you in your group of friends. Maybe someone, one of your friends is doing something that you didn't know they were doing, and it's kind of exciting, or you know, something or other. If you are actually out somewhere, physically out somewhere, something could happen there that it takes you by surprise. But I think that you may actually just run into someone that you haven't seen for a while. Or you could make like a really a new friend that is like they're an acquaintance, but you find in befriending them that you have like some of the same friends. You know some of the same people. Okay. On Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 11th house squares Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 8th house. And on the same day, Venus in Taurus in your 11th house also squares Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 8th house. And on the same day, again, Mercury in Taurus conjuncts Venus in Taurus in your 11th house. So we're back to your friends in that again, you know, or your most sociable house, and a square to your 8th house of other people's resources and money. Okay, maybe one of the surprising things here, having the planet Uranus here, is always going to bring a little bit of unpredictability into your social circle. Okay, the people that even just pop up out of the blue. Okay, this could be like one of those times, but as far as, you know, someone could offer you an 8th house thing, like the use of something that they have that maybe you would like to use. Maybe you don't necessarily need it. 8th house is other people's resources. Okay, it doesn't necessarily always have to be money, but it could be someone maybe giving you the use of something or other that they have, or that you lent something to someone, and maybe you're having a hard time getting it back right now, or there's a discussion about something or other in regards to money or something else, okay? That, let's say you either borrowed from a friend or they borrowed from you, or maybe your friends would like you to do something with them, let's say in the future, but you have to pay for it now and you really don't have the money. Or if you do have the money still, someone else may suggest that like they pay for it for you and then you can pay them back. You know, something, some kind of setup like that. You know, but there's, on the same day, Mercury and Venus are both conjunct, so I would have to say it's a nice thing, you know, that someone may be trying to do for you at this time. But somewhere down the line, it may, you know, may not seem like such a great idea. You know what I mean? Like for now, it's a good idea, but when it comes down to it, you know, it doesn't work out that way for some reason. For Leo, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your, let's see here, your 10th house conjuncts Mercury, also transiting in Taurus in your 10th house of career and social and professional standing, your status, how you're known by reputation. It's your job. It's your, you know, most public part of your chart, okay? And there's all these planets here right now, including the planet Uranus, which has been here for a while. Okay, we'll be here for a few more years. Anyways, if you were looking for another job or a new position within your present company, this might be the day that you either achieve that or are told about it, have a conversation about it, anything in regards to your job, okay? If you're self-employed, this would be possibly the day that you gain a new client that is very prestigious, okay? Or you begin something new, even your own business, okay? If you aren't already self-employed, and if you don't work at all or you're retired, you are still, for some reason, in the spotlight and possibly being discussed at this time. Even, you know, if people in your neighborhood are talking about you, and it's good stuff, okay, because Venus is also here at the same time. So, you know, you're just the center of attention on this day for some reason or other, okay? On Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Taurus in your 10th house conjuncts Uranus, also in Taurus in your 10th house. On Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus in your 10th house, also conjunct Uranus in Taurus in your 10th house. So you have Venus and Mercury within 2 days of each other conjunct Uranus in your 10th house. Okay, so I mean, if you weren't suddenly thrust into the spotlight, I don't know what would be, you know. If that's not the case, if you're out in public anywhere, something very unusual could happen to you. And it doesn't have to be like a really big deal. It could even be just someone walking up to you, a complete stranger, okay, complimenting you on, you know, your look or something, your hair, what you're wearing, anything. You could be mistaken for, you know, some movie star even, you know, something like that. But something a little bit unusual could possibly happen to you if you were out in person anywhere. As far as, you don't even have to be out anywhere. This could happen on social media even, you know, you're being discussed for whatever reason. Maybe you're up to something. Maybe you are trying to attract attention right now. If that's the case, you would definitely be, you know, on the receiving end of something like that. If you do anything professionally that requires, let's say, a little bit of publicity, this would be the time that that would be happening. In fact, if you are being interviewed or something, as far as publicity goes, the interview could go unusually well, okay, and actually kind of remain in people's minds for some reason or other. Okay, on Sunday, April 25th, sorry, Mercury in Taurus in your 10th house square Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 7th house. And on the same day, Venus in Taurus in your 10th house squares Saturn, transiting in your 7th house of Aquarius. And on the very same day again, Mercury in Taurus conjuncts Venus in Taurus, both transiting in your 10th house. Okay, so I would have to say just this square to your 7th house of close relationships doesn't seem like a very big deal, considering on the very same day you have Venus and Mercury conjunct in your 10th house. I've mentioned this before. I think that possibly you have a close friend or a partner that may feel that you are, whatever you do for a livelihood or whatever your job is or whatever, that you aren't, the way you're going about it, maybe they don't care for it, or they are putting in their 2 cents as far as how you should approach, you know, your career or something like that. And not that they feel that you're doing it wrong, but they just feel possibly that they know a little bit more about it than you do, or they're trying to help you. And this is like one of those times, but it's not like a very big deal. You know, it's almost like they may have to admit in a way that you were right all along, because it looks like you're really, you know, getting somewhere by whatever it is, the way you're doing it, okay? So you know what's best for you, but they're never going to shut up. So just, you know, take it with a grain of salt, whatever. For Virgo, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 9th house conjuncts Mercury in Taurus in your 9th house. So 9th house, big travel and communication house, and Mercury is the big communicator, right? So this could be the day that you actually begin a trip of some kind. 9th house, big long distance travel, okay? Doesn't necessarily have to be long distance, though. It could be long distance in astrology is hours, sometimes not necessarily miles. But this is the 9th house of foreign countries and foreign places, you know, people rather, but long distance communications, long distance anything. So maybe you are either sending or receiving some kind of phone call or communication of some kind. Could be text message, email, whatever, but I always think it's phone call, especially with the planet Uranus going to be involved here. So you could start out, you know, the week, this Monday, on, you know, some kind of, again, a communication of some kind, or beginning a trip, or even this, I have to mention it just because this is the house of higher learning, so you could actually be starting a new class or just learning something, even if it's just on your own. Okay, so on Friday, April 23rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 9th house conjuncts the planet Uranus also in your 9th house of Taurus. And on Saturday, April 24th, Mercury, okay, Venus, I'm sorry, you know what, I have this stuff written so close together. Friday is Venus conjunct Uranus. Saturday is Mercury conjunct Uranus in your 9th house of Taurus. So this is like very, very sudden, totally out of the blue, an opportunity to travel, to do something or other that's kind of like exciting. It could be some kind of exploring, like some kind of trip like that or something or other. It could be just many possibilities. Okay, this is the house of publishing and media. It's an internet house even, so you could you know, if you were trying to get something, if you've written something, you were trying to get it published, this is when you would be hearing back from whomever, or it would actually be published. Something you've written could be out there for everyone to read at this time. To me, though, it looks like a very sudden opportunity to travel or to learn something from possibly someone that they're a mentor, but you maybe don't know them, and they're very hard to not approach, but they don't. Let's put it this way: they don't take on apprentice people, very often, and for some reason they may just decide they like you and they're going to teach you whatever it is that you wanted to know or whatever it is that they know. So kind of like taking you under their wing. This is also, ninth house is also the house of legal matters. So if you were having anything that's going on in your life that requires the law, okay, would get some kind of movement in it. A lot of times things don't happen fast enough. They just, drag on and on and on. But it looks like, something that you possibly are involved in, even if it's a lawsuit, but just any kind of legal matter, will get some kind of outcome finally, and it looks like it's in your favor. Okay, on Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 9th house squares Saturn, transiting in your 6th house of Aquarius. On the same day, Venus in Taurus in your 9th house also squares Saturn in Aquarius in your 6th house. And on the same day, Mercury in Taurus conjuncts Venus in Taurus in your 9th house. So I've mentioned this before about sometimes maybe at work, your 6th house is the workplace and your co-workers and even the kind of work that you do. So you also have Jupiter transiting here at the same time as you have Saturn. So there's some kind of changes going on wherever it is that you work or the kind of work that you do. Maybe you are doing something different right now. I've mentioned before, though, that a lot of times maybe you have knowledge in a certain area and you are trying to use that knowledge in your everyday work, everyday job, and maybe people don't want to listen to you even though you feel you're doing it correctly and everyone else is doing it incorrectly, whatever, something like that. So this is kind of like one of those days, only it looks like, your co-workers who possibly did not want to listen to you in the past may have to actually do that today. Because you do know what you're talking about, and your way of doing something or other is the best way to do it. But yeah, I'd have to say that's pretty much all that's going on there. Okay, for Libra, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 8th house conjuncts Mercury transiting in Taurus in your 8th house. So your 8th house is your house of other people's resources and money. Money coming to you through means other than earning it. So this is the house of inheritance, legacies, insurance payouts, legal settlements, refunds, an increase in credit, okay, from the bank or from a credit card company. It's also your partner's resources and money, and also your partner's debt. It's shared debt even, okay, but it's shared property. You have the planet Uranus here for many years to come just yet, okay, but it's been here for a couple years already, so you might be a little bit used to little different things happening in this area of all what I just said the 8th house governs, okay. So that, this conjunction to Mercury, though, is Mercury's like a timer in astrology. So maybe you were waiting for something to come to you. One of these things, money, coming to you in some form or other. Hopefully, this is the day that you finally get it. If you don't get it on this day, at least you're getting news regarding it. It could be one of those, the check is in the mail kind of thing, but at least there's some kind of movement in this area. You know what I mean? You could have been waiting and waiting. So now it looks like it's probably going to happen this week, because on Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Taurus in your 8th house conjuncts the planet Uranus also in Taurus in your 8th house. And on Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus in your 8th house also conjuncts Uranus in your 8th house of Taurus. So you have Venus and Mercury conjunct Uranus in this house, okay? So a lot of times it brings very surprising, Uranus is the planet of surprise and unpredictability, right? So this is the house of money. It's one of the money houses. It's prize money. Even if I were you, I would play the lottery. Okay, and if you're not a lottery player, at least buy a rub-off ticket or something or other. Or put $1 on the biggest jackpot that is in your area. Okay, because you just never know what's going to happen here. But this is the opportunity for something very off the wall, out of the blue, unpredictable to happen in this area of your life. Okay, you may even, it could be something like you could even be named as like the beneficiary of someone that you don't even know possibly, or you know them that well, or you're just very surprised, you know, that you're on the receiving end of something or other. It doesn't always have to be money. It could be some kind of resource. This is the house of other people's resources that someone is giving to you. Okay, on Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 8th house squares Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 5th house on the same day. Venus in Taurus in your 8th house also squares Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 5th house. And on the same day, Mercury in Taurus conjuncts Venus in Taurus, both in your 8th house. Okay, so your 5th house where you have Saturn and also Jupiter transiting right now is the house of fun and romance, creativity, amusements of any kind, your children or childish things even. You know, it's the house of fun, okay? And, you know, having these planets in your 8th house and just a minor square, it's not like a very big deal because on the same day you have Venus and Mercury conjunct one another. So to me, it seems that possibly someone is going to pay for your fun, you know, pay for your day of fun or weekend or whatever it is. That you wanted to do, some kind of plans possibly that you have with someone. Could be romance, you know, your romantic partner is paying for everything that you wanted to do possibly on this day. Something fun. It's something fun, but it looks like you don't have to pay for it, that someone wants to pay for your good time. Okay. For Scorpio, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 7th house. Okay, conjuncts Mercury also in your 7th house of Taurus. So you know Taurus is your opposite sign. The Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Uranus are all in Taurus right now. So they're directly across from your 1st house of Scorpio and your Sun in Scorpio or your rising sun or whatever other planets that you have in Scorpio. Okay, so there's like a tug of war between these planets right now. This conjunction to Mercury, from Sun to Mercury in your 7th house of close relationships and partnerships, just means that you may be having that talk with a romantic partner, a business partner, or a close friend about your relationship. You know, there's a full moon in your sign on the 26th coming up, you know, so this will be like a continuation. It's the start. It's the start of a conversation, okay? Or this is also the house of, let's say, contracts and lawyers even, you know. This could be the day that you sign on the dotted line or seek the... you consult a lawyer or someone like that, some person who is an expert in whatever field, okay? But it could be the law, you know, it could be a doctor though, it could be anything. But this could be one of those times when you contact someone about something like that. But, you know, if you were having any kind of problems or whatever in your close relationships, this would probably bring about a conversation of some kind. Okay, on Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Taurus in your 7th house conjuncts Uranus also in your 7th house of Taurus. And on Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus in your 7th house also conjunct Uranus in your 7th house of Taurus. So this is a very sudden and unpredictable, possibly conversation or revealing of feelings for someone. They or you, either one of you, could just blurt out, how you truly feel about someone or something. Your relationship, you could be suddenly, decide that even though you were fighting it, that maybe you are attracted to this or that person, but that you can't understand it because they're not normally your type, or the type of person that you would be attracted to or even take up with. They're like way too different for you. Remember, you're not a person that, well, I don't want to say, yeah, I guess you could be kind of open about some things. But anyways, this is like very unusual for you. Okay, you could even meet someone at this time, okay, that is like the epitome of, the person that you would never take up with, okay? Just because you didn't have that much in common with them, and all of a sudden you're like, being lured by this person, okay? On Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 7th house squares Saturn, transiting in your 4th house of Aquarius, and on the same day, Venus in Taurus in your 7th house, squares Saturn also, okay, in your 4th house of Aquarius. And on the very same day, Mercury in Taurus in your 7th house conjuncts Venus, transiting in your 7th house of Taurus. So you've got these squares to your 4th house of your personal life, your family life, your home, the people you live with. But it's like your family, it's your personal life. So maybe somebody or other has a thing or two to say about this person that you may be taking up with, okay? If it's not romantic, it could be business even. Maybe your family doesn't like the person that you're doing business with, or if you have a business partner, maybe they don't really care for them. But, you on the very same day, you have Venus and Mercury conjunct one another, so it's not like too bad. It's just a square, and your family or anybody that you live with even, they're always going to say something about anything you do anyway. So it's something that'll more or less just roll right off your back. Okay, for Sagittarius, on Monday, excuse me, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 6th house conjuncts Mercury in Taurus in your 6th house. So your 6th house is the kind of work that you do, the workplace, your co-workers. It's your house of health and your house of service to others. It's also small pets. Maybe you'll get a small pet at this time, cat, dog, bird, whatever, frog. Turtle, who knows, hamster. Anyway, the kind of work that you do, though, since the planet Uranus has been here, you may have branched out a little bit in doing something a little bit different than you normally would be for work. It might be like a side venture right now, but you would like it to possibly be your main source of income somewhere down the line. Anyways, this conjunction to Mercury is kind of means that maybe you on this day are getting a new assignment or a new client, a new side job or a new order or whatever. If you do some kind of work where you have to create something for someone or other. So this could also be a day where if you do still work in the workplace, physically work in the workplace, or even if you're working from home, that there's some kind of possibly a schedule change that's going to happen. Anything, you know, it's the beginning of something or other, though. In regards to your health, this would be when you would be, let's say, on the receiving end of some kind of news, or making an appointment for a checkup. This time of year is when you would maybe do something like that anyway, with the sun here. You know, just going to a yearly checkup of some kind. Not that there's any kind of health problems or whatever, but if you did have any kind of health problems going on here right now, it would be in your throat or neck, just due to the fact that you have Taurus on the 6th house. It's also your voice. You know, I don't think that, I believe that it's, you know, problems with your neck, not necessarily your throat. Okay, if you were having any kind of problems. On Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Taurus in your 6th house conjuncts Uranus, also in Taurus in your 6th house. And on Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus in your 6th house also conjuncts Uranus in your 6th house of Taurus. So you have Venus and Mercury conjunct Uranus in your 6th house of work, the kind of work that you do. Okay, so maybe on this day you create something pretty spectacular. Okay, or you have some kind of new job or something or other. But if you're a creative person, I would have to say that this is the day that you come up with something pretty unique. Okay, if you still have a job where you are working with coworkers, even if it's online, but also in the workplace, you could have a very you know, nice conversation with your coworker, but they could reveal to you that they have the hots for you or something like that, or vice versa. You know, you could actually take up with a coworker right now, and you know, you start to see each other romantically, something like that. Just something very nice, though, seems to come from this kind of conjunction, but it's very surprising and totally out of the blue. Okay. If you're retired and you don't work at all, there's still something that you are doing while you're at home, and it's creative, whatever it is. Okay, it is for money, but it's something that you enjoy. Okay. On Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 6th house squares Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 3rd house. And on the same day, Venus in Taurus in your 6th house also squares Saturn in Aquarius in your 3rd house. And the same day again, Mercury in Taurus conjuncts Venus in Taurus in your 6th house. So you have a square to your 3rd house of your everyday life, and your siblings, your cousins, it's your neighbors, your neighborhood. Not like a very big deal. The square isn't all that bad. Just, you know, you may have, maybe doing a little bit of running around in your immediate area for work, for your work that you do, not necessarily if you do work for someone else, not necessarily for your employer, but whatever kind of work that you do, even if it's a hobby or something like that. So you might just be doing an awful lot of running around. Again, like in your own neighborhood, in regards to this, trying to get something done or other, even if it's shopping to buy supplies or something like that. But it's not like a very big deal. You might run into, I don't know, detours of some kind, or transportation, maybe transportation problems in regard to work. Okay, for Capricorn, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 5th house conjuncts Mercury also in Taurus in your 5th house of fun and romance. Okay, creativity, gambling, speculation, the arts, drama, the theater, anything that's fun, games, sports. So, you know, I believe that you're going to take off on some kind of trip or other, you know, even if it's a weekend or overnight thing. You know, maybe you are going with your kids, maybe you're going with a romantic partner, or, you know, you're just even going by yourself. This is a beginning. A conjunction is a nice beginning. You know, it could be romance, though. You know, you have the planet Uranus here. It does make you attracted to possibly someone younger or older than you. It does sometimes bring about secret affairs or affairs with people that you would not have taken up with in the past. You know, it could be something, some kind of just a new beginning, let's say in romance or creativity. Maybe you're beginning a new creative project. On Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Venus in Taurus in your 5th house conjuncts Uranus, also in Taurus in your 5th house, and Mercury in Taurus in your 5th house conjuncts Uranus in Taurus in your 5th house on Saturday. Okay, the 24th. So you have Venus and Mercury conjunct Uranus within 2 days of each other in your 5th house. So it looks like something pretty, you know, surprising could happen in romance. I'd have to say romance, or with children, a child. Even if you don't have children, it could be someone else's child. Some kind of creative project. You could have like one of those aha moments where you have like a breakthrough of some kind in, you know, achieving something that it wasn't necessarily hard for you, but you just couldn't bring it about for some reason. This is also the house of speculation and gambling. So if I were you, I would, even if you can the whole week, I would, you know, at least put $1 or whatever on the largest jackpot that you have in your area, or buy a rub-off ticket or something or other, something like that. On Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 5th house squares Saturn, transiting in your 2nd house of Aquarius. And on the same day, Venus in Taurus in your 5th house squares Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 2nd house. And also on this day, Mercury in Taurus in your 5th house conjuncts Venus, also in Taurus in your 5th house. So not like a very big deal. It's a square to your 2nd house of income and money and your valuables, what you own. Okay, having Saturn here dries up sometimes areas of, you know, inability to bring in extra income. But you have Jupiter transiting here at the same time, so Jupiter does the exact opposite. It increases your ability to bring in more income, but they even out kind of right now with Jupiter and Saturn here at the same time. Hopefully it's just like evening out, and you don't have too much or too less of something, of money or whatever. And this could be one of those times where you find, let's say, a more creative way of doing something fun with your romantic partner or your children. Whatever it is that you do, you're able to do it in such a way that it's not going to cost you a lot of money. Okay. For Aquarius, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 4th house conjuncts Mercury in Taurus in your 4th house. So your 4th house is your personal life, your family, the people you live with. If it's not family, a roommate or something, or if you live alone, it's still your personal life, your past, your childhood. It's the actual place where you physically live, okay, and the property even surrounding it. So conjunction here just means there's a new beginning somewhere in your life, in your personal life. It could be new, you know, the planet Uranus has been transiting here for a while. Okay, it's going to be here for a few more years, so there's been a little bit of unpredictability in your life when it comes to your family or the people you live with. You may have one of those revolving roommate things kind of thing. You know, there's a new person coming in every how many months, you know, something like that. So this could be like a new beginning in that area of your life, your home life. Maybe you're trying to get it to stabilize a little bit or get things more your way or more to your liking. Okay. It's also, though, you could be bringing in something new into your home. An appliance or something that could be like a pretty big deal. Something different is going on like with your home. On Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Taurus in your 4th house conjuncts Uranus, also in Taurus in your 4th house. And on Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus in your 4th house, also conjuncts Uranus transiting in Taurus in your 4th house. So you have Venus and Mercury conjunct Uranus in your 4th house, okay? Which brings about very sudden, unexpected, nice things. I would have to say nice things going on within your personal life, your home life. Venus and Mercury bring about a very nice conversation, very sudden, out of the blue, though, due to the planet Uranus, conversation with someone. It could actually be even somebody gifting you with something, giving you something for your home, or something very personal. This could be like a pretty romantic kind of thing happening within a home setting, even. Totally out of the blue and totally unexpected. Okay, on Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 4th house squares Saturn, transiting in your 1st house of Aquarius. And on the same day, Venus in Taurus in your 4th house also squares Saturn in your 1st house of Aquarius. And on the same day again, Mercury in Taurus in your 4th house conjuncts Venus in Taurus in your 4th house. So you have a really nice, you know, it's not like a very big deal, okay? It's just a square to your personality, more or less. Saturn in your 1st house. And it's possibly, you know, some kind of change that you have wanted to make with your living arrangement or anything dealing with your home. Or your personal life. You know, you have Mercury and Venus conjunct one another. So again, that's a nice conversation, actually, or at least brings about a conversation that's necessary, and it happens in a fairly pleasant way. Okay, so if you do have to talk to someone about something personal, it really shouldn't be all that bad. Okay, for Pisces, on Monday, April 19th, the Sun in Taurus in your 3rd house conjuncts Mercury, also in Taurus in your 3rd house. And this is the 3rd house of communication and travel. And the Sun conjuncting Mercury here just means that you are going to have one or both of these things. A little bit of an increase in communications, like a lot of conversations, a lot of running around, possibly your own neighborhood, a lot of traveling, driving around, possibly even just shopping, or a lot of phone conversations, a little bit more mail, postal mail and email at this time, text messages, something, anything, you know, but this is the best time to have a conversation that you've needed to have. You're pretty you're a pretty good communicator right now, okay? People will truly understand whatever it is you're trying to say. There won't be any miscommunications, okay? On Friday, April 23rd, Venus in Taurus in your 3rd house conjuncts Uranus, also in Taurus in your 3rd house. And on Saturday, April 24th, Mercury in Taurus in your 3rd house, also conjuncts Uranus, transiting in your 3rd house of Taurus, okay? So this is like kind of like running around your own neighborhood, doing errands even, going to places where you would normally go throughout the course of a day. Okay, normal course of a day in your life, and just running into somebody totally out of surprise. It really surprises you. Okay, could be anyone. Could be somebody you used to go to school with, somebody from a previous neighborhood you lived in, but anyone. Okay, this is also a time where you could get a very surprising phone call, totally out of the blue from somebody, or even mail, email, text message, anything like this. This is like the best time for somebody to surprise you even with some kind of news, but I believe it's good news. Okay, totally out of the blue though. Okay, could be while you're running around doing this or that in your area that you just hear news, you know, overhear people talking, and they're talking about something or other that interests you, but it's a surprise to you in some way. Okay. On Sunday, April 25th, Mercury in Taurus in your 3rd house squares Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 12th house, and on the same day, Venus in Taurus in your 3rd house also squares Saturn in your 12th house of Aquarius. And on the same day again, okay, Mercury in Taurus in your 3rd house conjuncts Venus in Taurus in your 3rd house. Okay, so we're back to the communication thing again. Okay, so maybe whatever it is that you might hear, okay, this square to your 12th house where you have Saturn right now may bring about a feeling of I don't know, not depression, but it just makes you feel you're not like really seeing the best outcome of whatever it is that you hear or learn at this time as far as communications go. Like even if somebody's telling you something or other, you know, and it seems like good news, in the back of your mind you're going, yeah, right, you know, you're not buying it for some reason, but the fact is that Venus and Mercury are also conjunct on this very same day, so it more than likely is good news. Okay, so it's not something for you to like dwell on and think the worst of it, or it's never going to happen. So somebody could be giving you good news and you could be like, yeah, right, I'll believe it when I see it, which is always a good way to be anyway. Okay, but in this case it looks like it really is good news that will be happening. Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed their forecast for this week. Be sure to check out my monthly horoscopes and subscribe to my channel. Check out my Ask Me a Question. And there's also a link in the description below there. There's also a link there to my website if you would like to have your personal chart done. So I'll see you next week. Goodbye.